Coming up on State of Events, officers in Sacramento will not be charged in the killing of a 22-year-old.
And after a 7-day strike, Oakland teachers have reached a deal. State of Events starts now.
Welcome to State of Events. I'm Nicole Gitsky.
And I'm Alexis Gonzalez. Let's get down to our top story. Sacramento District Attorney Anne Mary Schubert announced on Saturday that the officers responsible for fatally shooting 22-year-old Stephon Clark will not be charged. Stephon Clark was shot nearly a year ago in his grandmother's backyard after officers believed the cell phone he was holding was a gun. During a news conference, the DA explained that after reviewing the evidence, it was clear that the officers acted accordingly with the situation. His family members and activists disagree and are pushing for California's Attorney General to file criminal charges against the police officers responsible.
Oakland teachers have reached a deal with Oakland Union School District following a 7-day strike. Oakland Education Association accepted the deal on Sunday night. In the teachers' tentative agreement, they will receive in a 4-year deal an 11% salary increase and 3% bonus at the time of ratification. It also includes a decrease in class sizes and more student support. This all comes after protesters blocked the school board from meeting to vote on a $22 million cut to the district. A man was arrested following an attack on a conservative activist at UC Berkeley on Friday. According to UC Berkeley police, Zachary Greenberg was arrested in connection with the attack. Hayden Williams told Fox News' Sean Hannity that Greenberg claimed he was promoting violence on campus. Williams is not a student at Cal, but was invited by the university. Greenberg's arrest comes a week and a half after the attack occurred.
A public memorial service was held to honor the late San Francisco public defender Jeff Adachi. The memorial was held in City Hall. People from all over the Bay attended to honor the man best known as a warrior of the undeserved. Adachi died on February 22nd from an apparent heart attack at the young age of 59. Many mourned his sudden demise and took the time to remember all he did for the people of San Francisco. Guests such as Mayor London Breed, Rudy Corpus, and Matt Gonzalez expressed their gratitude for his service.
A shooting next to campus had many students worried. Reporter Samuel Chua has more on the rising concern of campus safety.
Between classes and dorm life, most students want to feel safe on their college campus. On Monday, February 25th, a shooting next to campus had students outraged because they were not notified immediately.
I am very angry that the school cannot notify us. It's very concerning as to why they had no intention on telling us until 3 hours later after the incident happened. I'm just very upset.
I'm outside the house where the shooting occurred last week. The incident is only 1 block away from the main campus, and down the street is university housing. Students are very concerned about their safety as the suspect could have ran into campus, risking their lives.
I was more disappointed in this incident because I feel like there's a disconnect between the campus and the students. And I'm not worried about myself. I'm more worried about the students living here on campus because I commute. And when I read the email when I got home, I immediately thought of the students because this silence about the incident instills fear to students, and that affects them mentally.
As said in the email, university police did not respond immediately because the shooting incident was not on campus. However, there are other alternatives for students to get up-to-date notifications on incidents that are happening around campus.
Students could use the Wildfire app or the Citizen app, which I personally use because that informs you of incidents occurring around San Francisco State. And I know that UPD does a lot, but I feel like we could use these apps as students and residents of San Francisco State to help each other inform about what's going on.
In San Francisco, I am Sammy Chua for State of Events.
A family has identified the woman who fell victim to the landslide at Fort Funston. She is 22-year-old Kyra Scarlett. The search for her body has been suspended as of Sunday. Her father, Dave Scarlett, shared that he is grateful for the first responders who have been searching for her body and is finding comfort in the support the family has received. Fort Funson landslide occurred February 21st.
President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met in Vietnam for the second nuclear summit meeting. President Trump arrived at the meeting with the hope that Kim would agree to sign a deal surrendering North Korea's nuclear weapons in exchange for sanctions relief. But the two leaders did not come to an agreement, and Trump ended up shutting down two military exercises with North Korea. Trump recently took to Twitter to explain that ending the military exercises will save the U.S. millions of dollars and will potentially reduce tensions with North Korea.
The Cohen hearing on Capitol Hill last week proceeded for a total of 8 hours. Reporter Alexandria Hernandez has the details.
The Mueller investigation has been ongoing since May 2017. Those involved with President Trump and his 2016 presidential campaign are being questioned about his possible collusion with Russia. Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney, testified before the House Oversight Committee. In his opening statement, Cohen revealed that Trump was fully aware of Roger Stone's attempts to reach out to WikiLeaks before releasing damaging information regarding Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. He alleged that Trump committed various crimes such as insurance, bank, and election fraud, as well as perjury, witness tampering, and making false statements. Cohen also called President Trump a racist, a con man, and a cheat. In his testimony, he answered various questions about Trump, but stated there are some matters which he cannot discuss because they are currently under investigation by federal prosecutors in New York. Cohen pleaded guilty to 8 felony accounts in August 2018, including campaign finance violations, which prosecutors say was hush money to women who claimed to have had affairs with Trump. Cohen was sentenced in December and is facing 3 years in prison. Trump cited the Cohen testimony as one of the reasons he did not close a deal at the nuclear summit with North Korea. He expressed his frustrations via Twitter, bashing Democrats for allowing the hearing to take place while he was overseas. And back to you guys at the desk.
Next on State of Events, humans might be able to travel into space in the near future.
And find out which airline is selling unbelievably cheap flights to Hawaii. Coming up after the break. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I still think it's weird we don't have a rejoiner. Welcome back to State of Events.
Tesla has announced they will be closing showrooms and moving to online sales. Tesla says that cutting costs will enable them to improve services for cars and lower prices. Tesla is known for having unique business plans unlike any other industry. Most research for cars is conducted online, but eliminating the test drive ability and showrooms may prove to be too much. Tesla wants the process to be smooth and will take several months. Some showrooms in high traffic locations may remain and serve as information centers.
SpaceX successfully completed its journey to the International Space Station on Sunday, making it the first U.S. launch in years that can potentially transport humans to space. The spacecraft is expected to return Saturday. Its success will determine if NASA is ready to send 2 astronauts into space this July.
A shocking statement appears in PG&E's filing with the state and federal regulators concerning the campfire. In a statement, PG&E planned in 2013 to fix power lines that possibly started the fire. Lawyers for fire victims are arguing that PG&E was more interested in making a profit than fixing the problem for safety concerns. PG&E has launched a wildfire safety inspection plan that will inspect towers in high fire areas and is expected to be done in May. Rain continues to pound the Bay Area. Sonoma County held a community meeting Sunday for residents affected by the recent flooding. They are estimating $155 million in flood damages after the weekend storm. The Russian River became a dangerous and scary situation, leading Governor Gavin Newsom to declare a state of emergency. Westbound Highway 37 in Nevada remained closed for over 3 days following storm damage repairs. Rain is expected to clear up on Wednesday.
Have any plans for spring break? Southwest Airlines announced that it will be completing its first flight from Oakland to Honolulu on March 17th. With tickets being $49, people could not believe how low the prices actually are. Southwest will continue to add flights to Honolulu and Maui in April. Next on State of Events, students can get free groceries.
And coming up after the break, we have the Priest Report covering all things sports. Stay tuned.
Can you hear it? What are they saying? Sit up straight. Okay. I can only hear it sometimes.
Put your back on the chair. Sit comfortably. Okay.
I'm trying to fix this thing, but it's not going to work.
Relax.
Turn off your mic back and turn it back on just in case it doesn't sleep when you guys are talking. Just turn it off and on. Yeah, I think you might have the wires too, right? Just turn it off and then on. We're good. All the mics are turned off.
It's on, right?
30 seconds.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
And we go into camera 3. 15. 7. 5. 4. 3. 2.
HBO is being sued by the Michael Jackson estate after releasing a 2-part documentary in which 2 men accused Michael Jackson of sexual abuse. The documentary titled Leaving Neverland has sprung mixed feelings for fans and has shed light on the topic of sexual child abuse.
Chinese New Year just happened, but it's not too late to head to Chinatown for some fun. The Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory gives visitors a glimpse to see how fortune cookies are made. The tiny factory makes over 10,000 cookies a day. You can get a peek yourself at how these unique treats are made any day of the week.
San Francisco State offers many resources for students. One is a Gator Groceries. Reporter Ashley Loesa has the story.
As the cost of tuition increases, students' ability to feed themselves decreases. Luckily, there are programs on campus that help to prevent this. Gator Groceries is a program on campus that provides students with free groceries every Monday in the Annex 1 building. The program started 2 years ago in the spring of 2019 in response to students' need for better food security. The food pantry feeds over 300 students who get access to a week's worth of fresh produce and snacks. The food is provided by SF Marin Food Bank with over 6,000 pounds worth of canned goods and produce, such as potatoes, carrots, squash, and much more. With the demand for more resources, Gator Groceries plans to expand their program to provide students with more options.
We are also building a refrigeration unit so that we can keep not only the produce for longer, but we can also keep meat and poultry and eggs. And so this is something that we have invested into, and we plan on growing and growing to meet the rising demands of food insecurity on campus.
According to the College Board of Education, the cost of attending a 4-year private college rose to 6.4% and 7.2% for 4-year public colleges in the past 20 years. With the rising cost of tuition, fees, books, and living expenses, students find themselves putting food last in hopes of saving extra money to maintain their education. Gator Groceries is much more than a program that caters to students, but also a program that educates them on the awareness of food insecurity.
No, you're not alone, and that certain certain circumstances do qualify you as food insecure, but it's not something that should bring shame. It's something that, we hope that once students identify their food insecurity, that they can become empowered to access the resources that are available to them.
Reporting for State of Events in San Francisco, Ashley Loesa.
Although the rain postponed Catter Day at Dolores Park, many other events going on in San Francisco still took place, like the annual Russian Festival, Tulip Day at Union Square, and more. Lisa Lieberniak is in the studio covering this past weekend's events.
Thank you, Nicole and Alexis. If no one texted you back this Saturday, don't take it personally. People across the globe are taking the 24-hour pledge to unplug from technology and encourage them to connect with others instead. If you were not able to unplug on Friday, don't let that stop you. Visit nationaldayofunplugging.com/takethepledge. Instead of scrolling through Instagram, have a bonfire with your friends at Ocean Beach because no burn season has ended. 14 bonfire pits are available and are located between stairwells 15 and 20. No reservations are needed unless you have a party over 25, and it will cost you $50. This weekend marked the 31st annual Russian American celebration at the Russian Center of San Francisco. San Franciscans were able to experience old Russian traditions while enjoying live music, food, dancing, and vodka tasting. Kids even had their own area and had the chance to have their hair braided. And if you're into flowers, hopefully you didn't miss the 100,000 tulips that covered Union Square on Saturday. In honor of American Tulip Day, visitors were able to pick their own bundle of tulips for free. Only if this was before Valentine's Day, right? Last but not least, people lined up at the Conservatory of Flowers to experience a sound bath. Sounds strange, right? But it's an environment created allowing people to unplug from the stress of everyday life in the city and dial into the vibration of life. The sound bath started on February 23rd and ended this Sunday. If you missed these events and need something to do this weekend, stay tuned for Off the Grid Night Market at Fort Mason this Friday the 8th. In Studio 1, I'm Lisa Lieberniak. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Now off to Zach with the Priest Report, talking all things sport.
Thanks, guys. Let's
get into this week's Breach Report, starting off with baseball.
Better than the last one, right?
Bryce Harper signed his $330 million contract this week to the Phillies. Mike on. Bryce Harper this week signed his contract to the Phillies. $330 million in 13 years. After much anticipation, Harper finally chose where he wants to spend the rest of his career. After making his major league debut at 19 years old, Harper spent the last 7 seasons in Washington, D.C. Shortly after signing his record-breaking contract as the biggest offer in MLB history, Harper held his first press conference as a Philly where he misspoke a little bit. While answering one reporter's question about winning the World Series, Harper replied with, quote, "We want to bring a title back to D.C. Looks like Philadelphia is going to take some getting used to saying." Next, we have NFL free agent Antonio Brown, who is looking for his payday after announcing that he would not re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This last month, many speculated as to why Brown didn't want to go back to the Steelers. This week, he sat down with ESPN and gave his reasoning behind the decision, placing most of the blame on quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Brown said that he and Big Ben never got along and that the quarterback thought of himself more as an owner rather than a team player. Brown is now seeking a major contract this offseason as the league's #1 wide receiver. Lastly, we have March Madness coming up later this month. The tournament starts on the 19th of March and will continue through the beginning of April. Powerhouse teams like Duke and Gonzaga are looking to take the bracket by storm, but for most players, the tournament is a time to showcase their skills to NBA coaches and scouts in hopes of getting drafted this year. So if you're looking for some sports entertainment, make sure you fill out your bracket and catch some games. That concludes the Priest Report for this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
For some local sports, your men's basketball team is heading to playoffs today. Game is at 7 p.m.
And baseball will be returning this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make sure to come out and support your Gators. And that is all for this week's State of Events. Make sure to follow us on our social media. We want to hear from you. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And for more stories, check out our website at stateofevents.net. In Studio One, I'm Nicole Gitsky.
And I'm Alexis Gonzalez. See you next week.